Hello, welcome to Language Science and CSD. I'd just like to take this opportunity to introduce myself and to explain a little bit about what it is that you'll be doing in this course. I'm Dr. Stephen Surency, and I've been teaching this course a few times throughout my 15 years here at USF. I started teaching the course again last year after a few years of not teaching the course. And when I taught the course last year, the students really struggled with the book that we were using and with the lecture format of the course. While I got pretty good evaluations on the course, they weren't to my satisfaction, and I really felt like we could do something better. So I decided this year to improve the course and to make some big changes in the way that the course is administered. First of all, we're using a new book in the course, Language Files 12. This course, I think, is a little bit better than the older book that we used for undergrads, because the book is specifically designed for undergrads who are learning linguistics for the first time. So I think in that respect, you're going to like using Language Files. The course is also organized as a flipped course, which means that you're going to do most of the learning at home and most of the practice in class. So rather than you come to class and me have a PowerPoint with lectures, what'll happen most of the time is before you come to class, you're going to do your readings in your book, and you're going to start doing some of the practice questions that you have online. Then when you come to class, we're just going to work on practice questions. We're going to work on the questions in the book. We're going to work on some of the other practice questions that you have in your homework. We're going to work on practice questions throughout the class. And it'll be like taking an exam with me, helping you through the exam every class. And that's going to be the majority of the classes. There'll be a few PowerPoints, and I'll give a lecture here and there. But for the most part, you're going to do the learning at home. Now, when you go into a module, and each class meeting has a module that you'll see online, you'll notice that the module has a list of objectives. Those objectives are meant to steer you to the most important concepts in the book. Notice it also says you need to know the words in bold, and you need to be able to do the practice questions that are in the back of each file. If you know the words in bold, and I don't just mean you can memorize what the book says, but you understand the book's definition of all those bolded words, and you can do all the practice questions in the back, you're going to do fine on the online practice questions. You're going to do fine on your midterm, you're going to do fine on your final. Now, if you read the chapter and you come to a concept you don't understand well, you'll find also within the module some extra help. Some of that extra help might be me giving online lectures. They could be other people giving online lectures. They could be videos or other sorts of pictures, different files that help you understand the concepts in the book. But be clear, those are meant to be supplemental. They're meant to help you understand the concepts presented in the book. Don't feel like they're additional. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to go into each module, and you're going to look and you'll see a list of objectives. From those objectives, you'll read the objectives, and you'll be able to identify the most important concepts in that module. Then you'll go to your book, you'll read your book, looking for those most important concepts. Then maybe you'll go ahead and start taking the practice questions. You'll do the online practice questions at home one time. Maybe you get 14 out of 20, which is a 70% right. 14 questions right on those practice questions online. And maybe you're not happy with that. Maybe you go back and you say, oh, I got some questions wrong related to prescriptivism. Well, you then go back and you might look at the book and see if you can clarify, and go look back and look at some of the supplemental information, the lectures I have linked to other people. Do that. Then go back and take the practice questions again. Maybe this time you take the practice questions, and you'll get some slightly different questions. They won't be all exactly the same. You get some new questions, you take it again, and maybe this time you get 9 out of 10. And maybe you say, you know what, I'm satisfied with that. Or maybe you're not. Maybe you want to take it again. With those online practice questions, your highest grade is going to be kept. So you can take them 20 times, 30 times, before class, after class, whatever you want to do. You will want to do the reading before class, and I would suggest you take the practice questions at least once before class, because that's going to really help you to make the most out of the class time. Because in class, I'm going to be going over the practice questions. The ones that are in our book, the ones that you have online, all sorts of practice questions we'll be going over. That way when we get to your midterm, which consists, by the way, of the same practice questions, you'll be ready. Now, the more you do the practice questions at home, the more likely it is you're going to see the questions that are on the midterm. there are lots of practice questions that I have. You're going to get 20, your friend's going to get 20, your other friend's going to get 20 different ones. Chances are you're not going to see all the practice questions just by doing the practice sets one time. But if you do the practice sets 3 or 4 times each, you're going to see lots of different questions. When it comes time for that midterm, there's not going to be a surprise. You're going to get the midterm, and the questions that show up are going to be all the same questions you've done, provided that you've taken the practice questions quite a few times. So remember, when you're approaching this course, look at the objectives as a way of organizing your brain, organizing what is the most important topic. Then read the chapter. That's where the bulk of the information is going to be. Then go try the practice questions. Then come back and see if you need some of the additional resources to help you out. That's my suggestion. That'll get you ready for class, ready to ask questions, ready to suggest questions for me to go over, ready to participate in the class with your clicker, and then ultimately that's going to get you ready for the midterm and the final. I look forward to having you in this class. I think it's going to be a really good class for you, and I think you're going to find it really rewarding because you're in control. If you want to pass this class, it's doable. Put the time in. If you find it difficult, you're going to have to put a lot of time in. If you find it easy, you're going to put a little bit of time in.